had their favorite child book as they were little that they wanted to hear over and over again. One of the big authors, Theodore Geisel, but we all know him as Dr. Suess, wrote many of the children's books. All throughout his life, he wrote and drew all kinds of silly stories. From the early ages of when he was a little kid to all throughout high school and college until he decided that that was going to be his career. According to Suessfield.com, Geisel was born March 2nd, 1904 in Springfield, Massachusetts. His mom was a baker and she made pies, and for some reason she made little rhymes about her pies, and she would come home and before bed she would say those rhymes to Geisel and his little sister. Geisel said that his mom was the one that created his desire and the ability to write rhymes and draw stories, or draw, and then stated in catinthehat.org, you could see Springfield in all of his drawings. You could see Horton by a pond or a river, walking, and all kinds of little things in Springfield. Even with the social and financial problems that German immigrants, like his family, went through, his parents made sure that he and his sister had a very happy childhood. Drawings and creating rhymes followed him throughout his life and into college. Geisel went to Dartmouth College, where he was editor-in-chief of this silly magazine called Jack-O-Lantern, but he got his privileges revoked. He wasn't part of it anymore because he and his friends decided that they wanted a party and they got caught, and so they were banned. He was banned from the magazine, but he would continue to draw stories to put into the magazine, but he would put it under a false name, and that's where Suess came from. And Suess is his mother's maiden name and his middle name put together. After graduating Dartmouth, he went to Oxford in Europe, where his father wanted him to become a professor at a college, but his academic studies were boring him, and he decided that he wanted to tour Europe. But Oxford was where he met his wife, Helen Palmer. She was a children's author and book editor. And then returning to America with his newlywed wife, Geisler pursued the career of a cartoonist. So, Geisler, Dr. Seuss Art.com explains that his first book was published was Boners, but it didn't get a lot of reviews because it just wasn't, it didn't get a lot of good reviews because it just wasn't as good as his further one. But he continued to make stories for World War II. He would make little cartoons and publish them in different newspapers and magazines. He created a lot of different stories even after Boners. It didn't deter him from anything, and then so he continued to write, and by the time he was dead, he wrote 44 stories. Geisler, he wrote a lot of stories. He was a very good author, and he continued to write a lot, and